Welcome to Disaffected, the show where we talk about politics, culture, and relationships through a psychological lens. It is August 31st, 2025, and I am Joshua Slocum. There's a ton of news this past week, and we're going to concentrate on two of the most important stories. Obviously, the big story is the transgender murderer, the man who shot up Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis on Wednesday, August 26th. I spoke with one of his childhood babysitters. We've got exclusive information for you tonight that may shed some light on this story that the media are already working to make even more confusing. So make sure you stick around to the end of the show and I'll tell you what we've got and what we've learned. You can see the whirling, frantic efforts of the New York Times, NPR, and every other mainstream media outlet on this story. They're trying so hard to keep the lid on the reality that has already exploded out of the pot. America is fed the hell up with pretending that transgender is real. We are fed up with pretending that being transgender has no bearing at all on obvious drooling mental illness and the associated violence. We're watching the fight between a dying leftist media and a general population that is saying loud and clear, no more. People are actively talking now after this shooting about how transgenderism is nothing but mental illness. It's not a thing that lives on its own, it's just mental illness. And that trannies are more likely to be violent. Every single human actually knows this, especially the people who scream and say it isn't true. They know it's true. And people are talking about how the left has been calling medical and psychiatric butcheries, especially of children, loving, affirming care. I'm glad to see it happen. I hate that this tragedy happened, but if we can at least make some progress out of it, we should do so. Now, the left is trying to say, of course, it's the guns, it's the guns. And the right is trying to say, it's the antidepressant drugs, it's SSRIs. Both sides of the political spectrum are acting like simple-minded fools about this, as so often happens. But I see the public conversation and I'm really heartened by it. It's a lot more sensible than what we're getting from the media, including the conservative media. Do you remember the Time magazine cover from 2014 with black man actor Laverne Cox in a tight dress with the words, "The transgender tipping point"? Well, 2025 is the transgender tipping point. This is the year that transgender ideology gets put in its grave. We're going to be joined this week by the incomparable Keri Smith, host of Deprogrammed with Keri Smith. She's been on the show before, but it's been too long. And like me, Keri had a lunatic narcissist mother, and we're going to talk about how the Cracker Barrel fiasco that we brought you last week is the perfect example of contemporary female narcissism that is left out of the home so that it can come and smother us in the world of business and politics too. So stick around after the break and we'll get right to it. Hey there, do you like this show? If you do, would you help us make it? It does cost time and money to do, and you are 95% of our sponsorship, individual viewers. We rely on you, and I sound like public broadcasting as I'm trying so hard not to do that. We really would love to have your support. We don't ask very much. You can join us two ways. Go to disaffectedpod.substack.com or go to subscribestar.com/disaffected and sign up to become a monthly supporter. The plans start at a very reasonable $5 and $7. If you don't want to have another subscription, I understand that. We've got a one-off option for you. Click on over to our website, disaffected.com, and hit the link that says support us. Thank you. Welcome back. Look what's on your screen. We have a Keri Smith of Deprogrammed with Keri Smith. Welcome, Keri Smith.
Thanks for having me. I skipped church for
joining me. It's been too long. But I mean, you were able to join us today because you skipped church. I'm not going to say anything more about your business in front of other people, but that's between you and Jesus.
Well,
So we're going to do
storm. There was a storm, so I had another reason as well, and it worked out this way. So it's actually really good that I could see you.
Okay. Okay, good. We're going to do some funny, and then we're going to do some serious with a little bit of funny mixed in. So it is time for everyone's, well, is it everyone's favorite part of the show? I don't know, but it's my favorite part of the show. It is time once again for, that's right, Potpourri to Moquerie, the portion of the show where we roast the skin of everyone. Allons-y. Okay, so first up, we have my new favorite. I'm going to make this my ringtone on my phone. Some of you will remember a short version of this clip on the show a couple of years ago. But if I remember right, we only had about 20 seconds of it. And I have recently discovered that this performance you're about to see went on for far longer than 20 seconds. And mercifully, audience, I'm only going to play you about a minute because it's much, much longer than that. But you need about a minute to really get into the rhythm. I mean, this is one sick beat here. So this is Nebraska Senator, and I'm going to do my best with her name, Michaela Kavanaugh, because of course it is. This is her 2023 meltdown on the Nebraska Senate floor. And Keri, I am absolutely transfixed by this. I cannot stop laughing because the longer it goes on, the funnier it gets. Can we roll that, Kevin? Trans people belong here. Trans people belong here. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. You matter. You matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter.
This is green eggs and ham.
You belong here. Kevin's in my ear talking about green eggs and ham. This reminds me of one of the times when I was a child where my mother was beat me justifiably. I was probably 4 years old, and I really wanted to get up for Saturday morning cartoons, but I wasn't allowed to get up at the butt crack of dawn. So I jumped up. You remember, Keri? You remember from you've seen The Exorcist, right? Yes. Okay. So you remember the scene where little Reagan is on the bed and she's flopping up and down and she's going, "Mother, make it stop, make it stop." Well, that was me on my bed going, "When can I get up? When can I get up? When can I get up?" And I don't remember anything after that because I think I was beaten unconscious. Oh, I noticed you said at the beginning before you showed me this clip that you were transfixed by it. I caught what you did there with the trans. I am so transfixed by it. What has happened? How is it? How do we live in a world where not only does an adult do this behavior in public, but it is an elected official. This is a state senator on the state Senate floor. We are in such a idiocracy at this point that I think satire is harder than it used to be because it's so funny. Like with that, what do you do except put, like you said, put a sick beat behind it and, dance to it? Because these are the people who are supposed to be governing us and representing us and making decisions for us. And it's just this circus. The clown show gets overused a lot, but this is a clown show.
Yeah, it is. Well, we've got more clown show for you. As you know, as we know, you are a believing Christian. So we're going to play this next clip for you. And when we're done, I'd like you to take it, Keri. I'd like your take on how this lady in the sot we call Candy Sparkle Church, how she welcomes us into the Spirit of the Lord.
My name is Candy Von Sparkle, aka Christopher. My pronouns are he, she, and they. Please join me responsibly in a call to worship. Source of life, in the beginning, you made us and called us beloved. When we forget how to love, you remind us. When the powers of the world try to oppress us, your name is love. When our siblings in faith condemn us, you claim us beloved. We are beloved. So today is source of love.
That didn't sound very enthusiastic to me. I suppose this is supposed to be a call and response, but all I heard was, "You call us beloved." And so, what do you think about that, Keri?
It's really disturbing. I guess they're dressing up. Are they trying to pass this off as Christianity? That it looks like they're in what used to be a Christian church, but there's nothing there in what he's saying. There's nothing from the Bible. None of that's from Scripture. They're not doing a call and response that's rooted in Scripture, and it makes me think of the Bible verse where Jesus talks about what awaits those who lead people astray. Like, people are coming to you looking for the source, right? They're looking for the creator. They're looking for the great I am. And if you're in a church and you're leading people in the opposite direction, Jesus said it would be better for you if a millstone were hung about your neck and you were drowned in the depths of the sea. That would be better than what actually is going to await you for leading people astray. So I don't have a lot of funny things to say about it because it makes me so mad. But it really,
I know.
Yeah, it makes me so mad. It's like people are coming to you looking for the way, the truth, and the life, and you're like, we are here to talk about our pronouns, and it's so depressing.
Yeah. Well, you know what they're actually there to talk about are rainbow balloon tits, right? It's just like, "Hi, my name is Candy Von Sparkle, aka Christopher."
With the beard too. That's a choice. With the I'm both. I'm everything.
I'm every woman. Let's move along. The BBC, no, not that one, the British Broadcasting Corporation, they keep doing the most to take Britain forward. And to do this, they have to correct the past. So you guys will remember, the UK's Channel 5 started correcting Britain's past with a Tudor miniseries in 2021 showing us that Anne Boleyn was straight up black, y'all. I think we have her. We can put her up there. Yep, there she is, Black Anne Boleyn. And Keri, this shit I'm about to show you is crunk, honey. Now the BBC is helping to explain to us that the 11th century, and that's the 1000s, so, William the Conqueror in 1066, Norman conquest of England, that's the time period we're talking about. The BBC is explaining that the Earl of Moquerie in the 11th century and his lady was well melanated and had kinky African hair. I think you can see it on your screen. Boy, that sure looks British Anglo-Saxon, doesn't it? For those of you on audio, you should hop over and look at it.
They haven't learned their lesson yet.
No, they're keep doing this stuff.
And you know what? It's one thing when you race swap a beloved IP, but that is still a work of fiction, but it's beloved, and maybe it's a very old piece of fiction. That's one thing, and that's offensive enough. But it is even more just absurd when you're race swapping an actual historic figure. It's a whole nother level of deception.
I mean, listen to the phrase that I spoke out of my mouth. This is a thing that happened in the world. This phrase itself should send people into hysterics. Black Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
Black Anne Boleyn. You say, how do you satirize that? You can't. Like, if I was going to make a funny about this, I'd have to race swap her back to white, and that would be the joke. I wouldn't even know if I was coming or going.
They gonna destroy the earth.
Yeah, they finna do it, honey. They finna do it. Excuse me. And thank you for pronouncing the hard G on destroy. If you don't know, if you guys in the audience don't know what we're talking about, all you have to do is open up a search engine and type in the following phrase: finna destroy the earth.
The audacity. The audacity.
The audacity. All right, we got one more funny, but before then we're going to slide back into Cracker Barrel. We're going to pick up a theme from last week. This is well, I'm not even going to introduce it. Let's just roll the next shot, please, Kevin.
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
I don't get it. You just said it makes you emotional. Therefore, it seems like the term is correct. Right?
Wait, I'm sorry. What is it, Keri? Are you doing something called thinking? Is that thinking that I hear coming from you? It is. What did you catch what she said too? I don't know what this is. Frankly, I didn't bother to note down the source. It appears to be a woman of about 40 years old in some sort of state committee hearing room. I don't know who she is, and I don't give a shit. But did you catch what she said? She's scolding somebody else. I'm assuming someone else gave testimony and used the word hysterics, and she got womb-like and emotional. But she said, I'm not surprised to hear that from someone who's written pro-life articles. Like, I know it went by quickly, but she said pro-life as if being for life was a slur.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pro-life is, you would think pro-life is or you're here speaking on behalf of your womb, supposedly, right? Like your womb, women, the planet, the environment. So, and all of that is somehow opposed to being pro-life.
Yeah, you know, the very thing that defines females biologically, their ability to gestate and bring forth life is that is terrible. We must not talk about it. If we talk about it, though, we have to say it's wonderful, but we can't acknowledge it, because if we say it's wonderful, then that means that we're saying that women have to have babies. And oh my God, I don't know what to do. That's this woman. That's modern feminism. They're spinning around like dervishes. I think I hope we're getting to a cultural point where I feel, not think, I feel that we are getting possibly to a cultural tipping point, because I think we're very close to the pinnacle of insanity, where they really do start spinning around. They can't even think straight because it's all cognitive dissonance. I think that's what's going on for people like this. And I don't know how much more hysteria we're going to have, but it is actually hysteria that we're seeing.
Oh, it is. And you've seen these viral clips in the past few years of women like this paying lots of money to go out in the woods and scream and shriek and beat wood against trees, like, and I think people are devolving in a way. Like, we're becoming more primordial of, like, she's sitting here saying, like you said, she's not thinking. She's sitting here saying that that they're using a word that is somehow making this an emotional thing. And yes, it makes her emotional, and the climate makes her emotional. It should make you emotional. Therefore, don't use a word that references the fact that you're emotional about it. Like that. Why? What?
It's contradictory. It keeps going yes, no, black, white, yes, no.
Yeah.
Well, what, Keri? I think you know the answer to this. What mental condition do we know of where people go yes, no, black, white all the time?
Well, cluster B people tend to split and put people into either good people or bad people. Is that what you're talking about, or something else?
Yeah, I was going to be even bitchier and say borderline personality. Get real specific about it.
Yeah.
All right. Since we're talking about shit that's just crackers, let's go right into Cracker Barrel. So last week, we told you on the show about how yet another middle-aged leftist white woman and her team of strong women have ruined the Cracker Barrel brand. They took all of the antiques out of the restaurants, and not restaurants, stores. They took an eraser to most of the company's logo, getting rid of everything distinctive about it, and they left the restaurant chain a bland and boring millennial gray mortuary. So let's remind everybody, here's a picture of old Cracker Barrel, how it used to look with all the actual antiques and Americana on the walls, the kerosene lamps, the hockey sticks. Now let's take a look at new Cracker Barrel, which is a Joanna and Chip Gaines remodel job in shiplap white. What do you think, Keri?
I am physically repulsed when I think about my womb and the emotion.
I was going to ask how your womb's doing.
My womb is not doing great. Actually, I will admit to being this. I got personally invested in this because my husband and I go to the Barrel all the time. I've been going to the Barrel since I was a kid. I do have nostalgia tied to it.
Did you just call it the Barrel?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, do you want to go down to the Barrel?
Well, okay, look. This is even a one-of-a-kind personalized Cracker Barrel wallet that my friend sewed for me from a t-shirt. Like, they don't even sell these. Like, this is how much I love the Barrel. And when when I was a kid, we used to go there with my grandparents. It was like a special occasion kind of thing. If we had, like, after Sunday church, maybe once a month or every couple months, we would go. And I have so many memories there that are tied to my grandparents. So I was joking, but it's partially true that this one really bothered me. I was calling it my Star Wars. You know how a lot of people got involved in the woke culture wars because they were so angry that the woke companies were desecrating Star Wars. Yeah, so for me, it was sort of like, okay, I can understand how that bothered you. As a huge Star Wars fan, I don't really care, but don't you dare mess with the Barrel. Like, I'm like, this is a line too far. And I'm like, we were there 3 weeks ago. My husband and I were there.
Okay. So I'm going to tell some people who I know watch this show and read my Substack. There are a couple of you out there who are all like, who cares? It's just a chain restaurant. Nobody actually cares that much. Keri cares. She cares. So it's the Barrel to her. Okay. She cares so much that she got a bespoke wallet made to fit the Cracker Barrel theme. And we are not going to make fun of her. We are just going to say bless her. And bless these biscuits.
Bless these biscuits. Yeah, here's what I think it means. Now, I understand all the people who are saying you shouldn't care because it's already, it's a huge corporation. It's there's BlackRock has a majority stake in it, I think, or they have a huge stake in it. And
Oh Lord, you know that.
at the end, yeah, and at the end of the day, they're like, "Why do you care so much? It's evil anyway." Well, here's why I care, because out of all the brands and all the chain stores and all of the corporate crap that's pushed on us out there, this was one of the places, the few remaining places that until this happened, I didn't realize how far woke had infiltrated. And I'll be honest, I think I kind of closed my eyes to it. I didn't want to know. I just assume all corporations have a DEI department now, but because I love the barrel so much, and because when I would go to the restaurant, I didn't see it seeping in. Like, it didn't affect the country store. They still had mostly Dolly products, and there was no like rainbow flag stuff in the store. So I could stay in denial about it and just not look, right? Well, when this happened, the first thing I saw was the remodel inside. And the reason that is so viscerally disgusting is because you're taking something, a brand that's so old, that has so much history and tradition, and is made to look like old country general stores. That's what it was made to look like. Uncle Herschel, who the guy in the logo, was a real person, and his job was traveling around the country and going to these country stores and trying to give it that down home feel. That's why they have the rocking chairs out front. That's why they have the checkerboards. I used to sit and play checkers with my grandpa out there, like it's supposed to have that feel. So when I saw that the inside, they were making it look like a gay Denny's. And it's like, if I wanted barrel, like I would go to McDonald's. Like they took all of the personality out of it. They took the down home feeling out of it. If it doesn't feel, like I saw somebody say, if Uncle Herschel's not on the logo and it doesn't feel like my Meemaw's kitchen, then we're leaving. And that's what they did, is they took Meemaw out of it. You walk in there and it's just this, like you used to talk about brutalism. It's just this brutalism, kind of like modern, no character, no flavor. It could be anywhere. And they removed the culture.
Well, the backlash, of course, to this was absolutely furious, as everybody knows. And Cracker Barrel, the company, spent on this rebranding, they spent $700 million, and that was 70% of their cash on hand. Yeah, that's what they did. Well, the world hated it. Their stock tanked, and everybody was screaming. So they rolled out who I call the Gackler. We introduced you last week to the Gackler. It's being a Gackler is being a narcissistic mommy with a team of narcissistic mommies, because it's all women on these branding teams, women and gay men. And they responded to the backlash with the most classic textbook cluster B female response. It's gaslighting with love. So here is the response from the company. I'm going to read their apology letter to you. It says, you can see it on your screen, but you won't be able to read it, so I'll read it to you. Our promise to you. If the last few days have shown us anything, it's how deeply people care about Cracker Barrel. We're grateful to your truly heartfelt voices. You've also shown us that we could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be. What has not changed and what will never change are the values this company was built on when Cracker Barrel first opened in 1969. Hard work, family, and scratch-cooked food made with care. A place where everyone feels at home, no matter where you're from or where you're headed. That's the Cracker Barrel you'll always find. The things people love the most about our stores, not our restaurants, our stores, aren't going anywhere. Rocking chairs on the porch, a warm fire in the hearth, peg games on the table, unique treasures in our gift shop, and vintage Americana with antiques pulled straight from our warehouse in Lebanon, Tennessee. We love seeing how much you care about our old timer. We love him too. Uncle Herschel will still be on our menu, on our road signs, and featured in our country store. He's not going anywhere. He's family. While our logo and remodels may be making headlines, our bigger focus is still right where it belongs, in the kitchen and on your plate, serving generous portions of the food you crave at fair prices and doing it with a kind of country hospitality that brightens your days and creates lasting memories. I'm going to skip some of this and go to the end. At the end of the day, our promise is simple. You'll always find comfort, community, and country hospitality here at Cracker Barrel. Uncle Herschel wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Thank you for caring so much. And come see for yourself the country hospitality that makes Cracker Barrel feel like home. Love, Cracker Barrel. Do you feel loved, Keri?
This made me furious. Furious.
Yeah?
This was
Tell us
worse.
about it.
Because what they're doing here is they're doing the mommy talk. First of all, they end with the love. And if you looked on their Instagram, they even did the love in like a female, like a cursive font, just for the word love. Love, we love you.
Love.
Love Cracker Barrel. But they're basically gaslighting. They are. They're saying we
This
are
is
not
gaslighting.
changing everything, but they are. This is before they've since decided, because the reaction to this letter, they've now finally capitulated. But at first they basically said, we hear you, but we're not going to actually listen to you. We're not changing anything, but we're actually still changing everything that we were going to. The old timer's not going anywhere. His name is Herschel. Like, you know, his family. you named him as an afterthought. Like, it was so tone deaf. It was like, we're not going to listen to you. And there's nothing. I saw the comments on Instagram were fire. People were pissed. They were like, wow, there's nothing like being completely just dismissed and told to basically shut up and lied to, and then with like a love at the end. You know, it's just a slap in the face.
It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting is what it is. And this is classic feminine cluster B gaslighting manipulation. This is mommy tone. It's mommy speak. It's teacher speak. It's, you know, I love you so much. Right?
Yes. We love you.
God. I know. We love you so much. Well, you can see it. You can see it also. I mean, this is why I keep pointing back to the fact that this is feminine, it's female, and it's women doing this. This matters. You can see it in what they did to their famous pegboard game that they have on the tables. What we're going to show you, and thank you, Keri, for finding this double image for me. This may seem like a subtle little thing to talk about, but it's not. It's absolutely a demonstration of the manipulative, feelings-based female messing around with shit. They had to change the long-time instructions on the pegboard game on each table so that nobody's feelings would get hurt. Can we put that on the screen? We do have it on the screen. So the old Cracker Barrel game has these words on the back. Jump all but one games. Jump each tee and remove it. Leave only one and you're a genius. Leave two and you're pretty smart. Leave three and you're just plain dumb. Leave four or more and you're just a plain ignoramus. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store. So they make fun of you if you can't finish the game. They end up calling you an ignoramus. Well, that wasn't very inclusive. So this is the new text on the Cracker Barrel game. Leave only one, you're a genius. Leave two, rocking the chair but mind the game. Leave three or more, no reason to be embarrassed. Try again. Oh. No reason to be embarrassed. You're good. Show everybody we love you.
No reason to be embarrassed. Let me tell you. So, as I mentioned, my husband and I went to the Barrel about 3 weeks ago, right before he left for a trip. And they had not made, I didn't know these changes were coming down the pike because they had not yet made these changes at my local store, a local restaurant, local store. So the only change was the peg. And I noticed it immediately because this was one of the rare occasions where I only had one left. So I flipped it on the back to remind myself I'm a genius, and it says, they've changed it. So I was like, why do they have new pegs? No. So this one they've already done at my store, and you're right. The language is very much like we're all winners here. We can't dare call you dumb. I posted about this kind of in jest, but also seriously, and I had adults in my comments saying, but isn't it a good thing not to hurt kids' feelings? I'm like, first of all, kids, like a lot of adults play this. Second of all, when I was a kid, this didn't hurt my feelings. It made you laugh and tease each other. It's funny. Yes. And then you want to get one left and you don't want to be just plain dumb. And by the way, one other thing, somebody pointed out to me on the new version of the peg game, they care so much about using this soft feminizing language, but they didn't care enough to make sure it was spelled correctly. They misspelled embarrassed. You know.
I didn't even catch that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I cannot stand it. Well, Keri, thank you very much for laughing along with us and for giving us the inside skinny on the barrel. By the way, have they remodeled the one near you?
No, and this past week when this new visited the two near me, I visited the one in Temple and in Round Rock, Texas, and I personally told them I was very happy they hadn't remodeled yet, and I didn't want them to make the changes. And as a Cracker Barrel loyalty member, I was very pleasant. But the employees were on our side. They were like, you have to leave reviews online and tell corporate because they're going to force these changes on us if you don't. So I was happy I went into the store. I'll say one quick thing. I know you have to go. It goes much bigger than this and we don't have time to cover all of it. But it was the remodel and the logo change that got me to actually look at the DEI policies. Robbie Starbuck did a lot of coverage on this. There's local publications in Tennessee that did a lot of coverage on this that Robbie was drawing from. So in 2020, they did start instituting this whole DEI thing. They started donating millions of dollars to Pride. They started trying to get a high rating with the HRC. They did a whole website. On their website, they have a page about culture and inclusivity and belonging. I mean, they basically were spending customer money and all this woke crap, and we didn't realize it until this happened. So because of this campaign to pressure them to go back to the ambiance that we like, the logo that we like, the feel of the store and the restaurant that we like, because of this campaign, they've also now changed their culture and belonging page and gotten rid of all the woke crap. This is a good first step, and they've said they're no longer sponsoring Pride. So
that's excellent news. Thank you. And that is a reminder to all of us that we have to complain. We have to say it out loud. We have to leave it in writing. We have to do it under our own names in public where other people can see us. And we have to actually talk to the real people at these businesses who are affected by this and show them, that we're not down for it. Keri, I'm glad to hear that. Tell everybody where they can find your work. Your show is called Deprogrammed with Keri Smith, and I know it's on YouTube. Where is everything? Where should people go to find the Keri Smith Hub?
You got it. You can find me on YouTube at Deprogrammed with Keri Smith. My handle on most places is real Keri Smith. So come find me.
Excellent. And you've got a website also, kerismith.net, and I think that's got links to all the places that you appear. So thank you for crawling for a few minutes out of the barrel so that you could join us today with Barrel Insider News. I really appreciate it. It's a delight to talk to you, Keri. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Okay. We'll catch up soon. Do you, audience member, need somebody to talk to? Do you know somebody who needs someone to talk to privately about any of this woke nonsense, with a relationship problem, with family, work, church, school, or home? That's what I'm here for. Visit joshuaslocum.net and check out my calendar. I offer hour-long video consultations and coaching. We can talk about cluster B problems. We can talk about employment problems, or we can just hang out and talk reality, one sane person to another. I get a lot of that too. So check out joshuaslocum.net. And if you are a subscribing supporter of this show, you get a pretty nice discount on your time with me too. And speaking of supporting the show, I would love to have you help us make this show. We have a couple of sponsors, but it's mainly you. And we do this because we want to get this information out to you. We love doing it, and we love that you love hearing it. So would you please help us make it happen? Go to disaffectedpod.substack.com and click on subscribe, or go to subscribestar.com/disaffected. And everybody who becomes a monthly paying supporting member, and it's a very reasonable small dollar amount that we ask, you get an invitation to our private members only Discord chat server. So we're going to take a break, and on the other side, we're going to talk about the big story this week, which is the Annunciation Catholic School shooting in Minneapolis that left 2 children dead and at least 18 other people wounded at the hands of a now dead maniac man calling himself a woman. Do you ever get hangry? You want to reach for a can of Pringles or some chips or something like that because you just need something to throw in your mouth? Well, I have a better idea than a can of Pringles or a bag of chips. Actually, our sponsor does. It's called Biltong, and Biltong is like the fanciest beef jerky you've ever had. It's better than beef jerky. Very thinly sliced, high-quality beef that is vinegar and spice cured in the South African way from BiltongUSA.com and our friends, the Van Vieren family who run it. Take a look at what they have to offer. Not only do they have all different kinds of beef, they've got, I don't never know how to pronounce this. Is it Wagyu or Wagyu? They have Angus. They even have kangaroo. You can choose the level of spice, but you can also choose how marbled or how lean you like your meat. So there's something there for everybody. I eat this stuff all the time. And if you ask me which I like the best, as some people have asked me recently on Twitter, honest answer, I've liked everything I've had. Anton sends me an assortment. Whatever the bag is, I like it. So I like the lean stuff. I like the marbled. I like all the different kinds of beef. Check out BiltongUSA.com and don't forget to use promo code JOSH to get 10% off your order. To no one's surprise, another deranged trans woman, that is a man, has opened fire at a school and killed 2 children while injuring at least 17 others. What's different this time, it seems, is that the shooting at the Annunciation Catholic School on Wednesday, August 26, in Minneapolis, seems to have broken open the public conversation about the lunacy that is transgenderism. I'm going to round up for you what we think we know about this case. And then I'm going to tell you about a conversation I had with somebody close to the family, a woman who was a babysitter for the shooter and who knew this family. Personal friends in the Twin Cities put me in touch with my source, and she needs to remain anonymous. But what she had to say about the way Robin, Westman's mother, failed to interact with her young child when he was born may shed some light on the motivation in this situation. I don't have the answer for you. Nobody has the answer for you. What comes out of the mainstream news is untrustworthy. We can already see that the news is referring to this man. His name was Robert Westman, referring to him as a she and a her. They're already claiming that investigators, gosh golly darn it, they can't see any motive for this, or they just don't know. The mainstream news is not going to win this time because the general public has had enough. But the general public is also the problem. Everyone from conservative commentator Matt Walsh to internet right-wing randos are jumping immediately to primarily blame SSRI antidepressants, drugs like Prozac, Zoloft, Lexapro. The right is exactly like the left when it comes to looking for a silver bullet solution. The left blames guns, and they're doing it right now. It's guns, it's guns, it's guns. They blame guns when there's a shooting, and the right blames antidepressant drugs. It's antidepressants, it's drugs, it's drugs. It's baby thinking, but that's today's adults. Why do people do this? Because everyone, regardless of whether they're left or right, wants to avoid facing the real truth. The shooter came from a broken family with early divorce, and there are at least some indications of potential psychological trouble in that house, as one would expect. No one wants to put the blame squarely on broken families because almost everyone in this country is involved in some way or another with a broken family. They've either broken their family themselves with divorce, or their brother or their best friend has done so, or their mom or their sister. There's a tacit conspiracy to look away from what grown adults are doing to their children and blaming a gun or a drug instead, as if we needed an additional cause for this behavior. After learning that a teenage boy was so disturbed and so confused that he insisted on claiming to be a woman, and his own mother signed legal name change papers to give him a girl name before he was even 18 years old. I can't possibly imagine any contributing factor to this madness. Can you? It must have been Prozac. Here are the basic facts as I know them so far. By the time you watch this, surely other things will have come to light. 22-year-old or 23, I've seen it reported both ways, Robin Westman was the murderer. He showed up on the morning of Wednesday, August 26th, to the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. He had attended that school, but he also he spent more time at the St. Agnes Catholic School, I have been told. He opened fire on students. He killed 10-year-old girl Harper Moisky and 8-year-old boy Fletcher Merkel. Robert Westman injured 18 or 17 additional people, depending on who you read. And according to the post-millennials Andy No, 15 of the additionally injured people were students, so presumably the other 2 or 3 were staff or teachers. And as of putting this together for you, Westman's mother, Mary Grace Westman, won't respond to police who are trying to contact her, and she has apparently, we know, hired a lawyer. I'm going to have more on Mary Grace for you in a few minutes. Let's show you a picture of Robert Westman with his mother, Mary Grace, apparently before his teen transition. And here are some more recent photos, starting with one in high school that seems to augur changes to come. We've got his graduation photo. If we can put that up there. Yeah, there he is. For those of you on audio, he's got a bob, longish hair, bright orange red, and he looks like Carrot Top. It's big and poofy. Then we have one even more recent where he's got that hair up in pigtails. This is apparently his trans identity. Well, the media and the public are jumping like frogs, as I said, to find a silver bullet to blame. And both the left and the right are doing this so that they can avoid talking directly about broken families. Attention has to be directed away from the effects of divorce because almost everybody is involved in some divorce, or some single motherhood, or some absent fatherhood, or some cluster B personality disorders. All of which, by themselves and in combination, are sufficient to produce this kind of insanity. They don't always, we know that, but they sometimes do. Nope, the left says it's guns. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, or Fry, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, this is the guy who pretended to cry at drug criminal George Floyd's tacky gold-plated coffin. And he's a great representative of the left's perspective on this. Here he is on tape mocking the children who were praying because their prayer didn't protect them from bullets, and it was guns what did it.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
I should have said this before I played the clip for you. You may want to rewind that and go back. Take a careful listen to what he's saying. This is acting. It's not real emotion. It's acting. Do you hear his huffs and his sighs he's putting in there for dramatic? I mean, he's going every time this is tragedy. That's acting. That's not real emotion. It's acting. And in this next clip, well, first of all, did you hear it in the last one where these children were literally praying? So don't talk about thoughts and prayers. Don't offer thoughts and prayers because they were literally praying. No, he didn't say it out loud because he knew that we could fill in the blanks like Mad Libs. What he was saying is they were praying and their prayers didn't protect them from bullets, did it? Lol, lol, LMAO. In this next clip, notice how much concern Mayor Fry has for what he calls our trans community. He's not concerned for the victims, not for the Catholic families. I mean, he makes some noises at that, of course. He's concerned for our trans community.
All of us. And I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids.
Love for our kids. Not operating from a place of hate. It's that feminized language again. So now the right, of course, said, no, it's antidepressants, it's antidepressants. I hate to say this because I'm a fan, but Matt Walsh is the biggest offender. He does this constantly. Like most of the right, he wants to jump right to antidepressants did it. Let me say this. But no, there's nothing I can say that's going to stop people from saying ridiculous things back to me that don't reflect what I actually said, but I'm going to try anyway. I am aware that antidepressant drugs can have serious side effects. I am aware that there are cases where they seem to be linked to violence and suicidality. However, it is not true that the major effect of antidepressant drugs is to turn people psychotic and that's all they need to go on. It's just not true. Now, Bobby Kennedy, the Health and Human Services Secretary, he's jumping right on the same bandwagon because of course he is. We now have to have a review of SSRI antidepressants to see about their link to this shooting. That's the latest news. So before you push back on this point, please listen to me. The dominant public conversation narrative, the easy narrative, and the right-wing media narrative is that it's a drug, what did it? Okay, that's everywhere. People like me who want to talk about it differently, we have to fight and claw for a little bit of space outside that narrative to say, wait a minute, maybe it's not just the drug, maybe it isn't the drug, maybe, you know, there's a base problem under here. I have to fight to do this. And if the narrative is already so saturated with this, it's really easy to say. And so when I get pushback about this, I confess it makes me very irritated because I want to say, you already have the floor. Everyone already wants to hear that it was the drugs that did it. You're already in good company. You've got the bounty in front of you. I don't. I've got a tiny little plate and I'm trying to make a point here. So before you push back, please try to remember that. This is already popular and easy because it's popular and easy. I mean, the reality is that there are millions of people on antidepressants, millions probably who shouldn't be. Yes, I'll give you that. Not giving any more, though. Almost none of those people shoot up schools. Okay, we got to look at something else here. It's not hard to figure out what it is. We're going to talk about the real issue that so many people don't want to talk about. That broken families and incompetent, neglectful, and abusive parenting causes lasting psychological damage. That psychological damage causes personality disorders, violent outbursts, and the lunatic idea that you can be born in the wrong body. Drugs didn't make these things happen. Drugs are not responsible for broken families. We have some of the shooter's writings from his notebooks, which is shocking as his video manifesto was taken down by YouTube. I actually, my friend was texting me as she was watching it, and as she was watching it, it went down. They pulled it down. Boy, they scrub quick. Boy, do they scrub quick. Here's one image of his handwritten journal. I don't know if this is actually quote unquote his manifesto. I'll read to you a couple excerpts. Quote, "To my mother and father, I am sorry I didn't turn out as you had hoped. You did not fail me. You gave me so much. I truly appreciate the love you have given me. I feel I was raised to be a good person. I've kept those traits of empathy, self-sacrifice, and good character." Oh, did you? Did you, Robert? Did you keep those good characteristics? That's interesting. Next one. "I have wanted this for so long." He's talking about the murder spree went on. "I've wanted this for so long. I am not well. I am not right. I am a sad person, haunted by those things that do not go away. I know this is wrong, but I can't seem to stop myself. I am severely depressed and have been suicidal for years. Only recently have I lost all hope and decided to perform my final action against this world. I don't want to kneel down for the injustices of the world. I want to die. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees constantly in pain." End quote. No, Robert. You don't only want to end your pain. You wanted to cause others incalculable pain and suffering. You wanted to kill children, and you did kill children. You wanted to destroy the happiness of other families for life, and you did destroy that happiness. You wanted to murder, and you did murder. You are not a suicide victim. You are a murderer, and I am glad that you are dead. So, how did Robert Robin Westman get this way? I can't tell you. I can't tell you the whole story. There's nobody who can. But I can make some pretty good educated guesses. I'm not unique in this. There are lots of other people out there who know this, but they will not say that they know it. What do we find in the background of the personality disordered, the violent, and the psychopathic? We find family trauma, and it appears that there was quite a bit of it in the Westman family. According to mainstream news, take it as you will, most of this that I'm about to tell you is from Minnesota Public Radio. Can't guarantee the accuracy. Robert Westman was born in 2002 to Mary Grace and James Allen Westman. Mom and dad divorced in 2013 when Robert was 11 years old, but my sources tell me that the dad, James Allen, abandoned the family years before that divorce in the year 2013. Mary Grace, the mother, worked for the Annunciation School where the shootings took place. Robert Westman, the shooter, also blamed his heavy marijuana use for his insanity in some of his writings, and he blamed what he calls his mother's discouragement of his trans identity. He blamed that for his rage, although he turns right around in the same writings and writes that he wants to end what he calls the trans charade. He's not really trans and he wants to cut his hair off, but he doesn't want to do it because then that other people would know that that he made a mistake and he's not really trans. So he's all over the place, as you would expect. We do know for a fact that Mary Grace, the mother, petitioned the court for her 17-year-old son to get a legal gender and name change. You can see the petition on your screen here. In the matter of application, Mary Grace Westman, Mary Grace, mommy, did this application for 17-year-old Bobby. Mommy did this. So, as I said, I have friends, real people I know, who live in Minneapolis and St. Paul and who knew this family casually or knew them through church. These friends connected me with a source, a woman who was a babysitter for the shooter and a helper to his mother, Mary Grace. I spoke with her. I'm going to call her Teresa. That is not her name. She needs to remain anonymous. I can't guarantee any of the information she gave me, but I do know that she's a real person, and I believe that she's telling me the truth as she sees it. So when Robert Westman was a baby and a little boy, he was known as Bobby. Teresa, my source, the babysitter, was one of two teenage girls who babysat and helped out Mary Grace soon after baby Robert was born. She tells me that as a baby, he was called colicky. He was a notably upset baby who cried a lot and was very hard to comfort. Teresa, my source, Also told me that Mary Grace, his mother, quote, could not handle the crying and did not like holding Robert as a baby and did not like engaging with him because she found it stressful and overwhelming. So Teresa and another girl, I think they were between 12 and 13 at the time, they provided a lot of hands-on care for this little boy when he was a baby so that Mary Grace didn't have to do it. Quote, I think she was struggling with postpartum depression too, Teresa said to me about Mary Grace. He needed attachment and he did not get that, end quote. Teresa also told me that Mary Grace was an outgoing person who got really involved in church activities, especially after the divorce from her husband. She said that Mary Grace spent so much time at church and that she volunteered for most activities. She stayed later than anyone, turned off all the lights, left the building. But it got to the point where other church mothers were concerned for her children at home. Teresa said that her own mother told Mary Grace, quote, this is great that you want to be helpful, but your kids need your help at home too. Teresa, the babysitter, said that as a kid, Robert Westman seemed mostly like a normal boy, only that he acted out a bit. And I asked her what she meant by acting out, and she said he didn't like sitting still and listening to his teachers. She described him as a bit of a troublemaker, but said there was no violent behavior, no criminal behavior from him that she saw. And that's what we know so far. I mean, I'm sure even in the time that I've been sitting here, probably more stuff has come out. I hope that what we're going to find is that not only will the conversation about transgenderism being mental illness, not only will we have that conversation, but I'm hoping we can at least start having the conversation about the fact that family trauma, neglect, parental inadequacy, and a host of other things are creating dangerous psychological problems in children. We all see this, right? I know people get tired of hearing this, and even some of the fans of this show get a little irritated with me when I talk about Generation Z and young people, and I talk about their flat affect, their inability to transact business in any normal way, the fact that they just seem weird and unable to communicate. I know it irritates some of you, and I'm sorry it does, but it's the goddamn truth. And if it's not your kids, if your kids are not that, then I'm not talking about your kids. But we have got to talk about this. This guy's extreme. Of course, most people. I come from a family of a raging narcissist mother, a violent attempted murderer stepfather. I've been through all these things too. I've taken antidepressant drugs. Many of the things that appear to have happened to Robert Westman and his family, in fact, happened to me, and quite a bit worse based on what I know. And obviously, I'm not out there becoming a school shooter. So I'm not saying your kids, if they fit this mold in some way, are the worst, most terrible people. But Generation Z is not okay. They're not, and it's not just a few of them. So I hope this is the beginning of more than one conversation where we start to actually tell the truth. That's been the show. Thanks very much for watching and listening. We'll talk to you next week.